Howdy, it's tubalcain again, and this is episode number 41 of my This and That series, and boy do I have a lot to cover. This is going to be a long one, so stick with me. Some viewer appreciation gifts and some updates on my meet and greet and an auction and just a score of other things. I might even have to cut it a little bit short. But let me start out with, Adam Booth had a good video on these drill indexes, and he really likes these antique ones, and I don't have a whole lot of them, but let me show you what I have and what I'm going to send to Adam. I know I told him a few weeks ago that I was going to send it, and I still haven't. Howdy, Adam. You know, I always call these drill stands because this was my dad and it said drill stand on it. And I got two of these. This is number 2, appropriately marked. They're die cast. They probably weren't all that expensive. The correct name, I suppose, is drill index, but I tend to call them drill stands. Here's one by Standard Tool, and I'm not going to turn it upside down, but you know, it is die cast and hollow. This one is for number bits, but Adam showed just a whole bunch of these that he bought, I believe, at antique stores and so on. So here's 2 of them. He's got one of these, but it is fractional. And they fold up like this. These are number drill bits. And I'm going to send him one of these when I get around to it here. He's in no hurry, and I've been busy, but so is he. So that's it on the drill indexes. My meet and greet was a big success. That was a couple of weeks ago. And there are several follow-up videos on that, and one put out by Pierre and yes, a few others, including Randy and Brian Block. So check those out. But there's still some footage that I haven't used, so let me cut to that right now. And that's when both Phil and Pierre showed up at the garage the day before. So I shot that. It's behind the scenes. So let's look at that right now.
That's pretty impressive, though.
You know,
I hate their shirt.
I go to San Diego Zoo. You know, I buy T-shirts like that for my friends.
Should have bought himself a beer.
And they spit on me when I want them to wear it.
Yeah.
Next time I go somewhere,
the color clashes with my eyes. I can't wear them. And that's where you got those at the zoo?
next time go to a zoo, I'll find something else.
Very good.
I bet you they make those with the ass end of an elephant on.
Yeah, probably.
They start with that.
When you guys do this, kind of be closer than your personal space might normally allow. But anyway, let's have you in kind of close together. And
We're shooting or?
we're rolling. We got speed.
All right, well, welcome to Phil's Projects, Pierre's Garage, and we're here to meet Mr. Peterson, tubalcain, mrpete222, and as a little appreciation gift for everything you've taught everybody and everything you've done for us, we made you a little something.
We don't have many left.
No.
But we kept a few, very few for very special people.
All right, what do we got here? We got some stickers, Phil's.
Yep.
Phil's Projects, Pierre's Garage.
Palmer, you're hogging the view here.
How many of you
We got something down here.
He's not quite housebroke. I'm working with him.
back here.
Yeah,
You can get a shop towel to boot with it.
well, good. But, you know, you always need clean rags.
Shop wrap. There's a condition to that gift, though.
Yeah. Not everyone went to
nice.
the condition.
Very nice.
Yeah, Mr. Pete, you really deserve it.
And we're talking walnut here? Or?
No, it's Brazilian rosewood, I believe it's called. It's an ironwood. Very, very
Yes.
dense.
Brazilian
Very
rosewood.
dense wood.
We got brass and
Brass.
Yeah, and
Delrin.
Delrin. That's black
Black
Delrin.
Delrin. And there's a little...
we got you.
It is beautiful.
everything we made, eh? We made the handle, just the shape and everything is made on the lake.
Oh, on the lathe. And this is a collaboration between you
Us three, Robert.
Us two and Robert, which is not here.
Okay.
The third monkey, he did.
The third monkey.
He did. Yeah. There's a series on it. We made a series how it's been made.
All right.
A to Z.
Everybody have to watch that.
Some of the spare hammerheads.
We got extra tips.
Yeah, we got a hardened steel and 2 more Delrin.
Hardened steel, another
But
2 more
there's a
Delrin.
condition to accepting this hammer.
Yeah.
You have to ding it on camera.
Very nice.
I have to ding it?
You gotta hit something
About hammers.
on camera.
Oh,
gotta have
I
the
hate
right
to spoil that
balance.
brass.
Well,
Yeah, you do that because
I got one.
Randy had to do it.
And,
Everybody else who got one had to do it.
yeah.
the only one that didn't
I know it's
do it
hard,
is
but
Tom Lipton didn't do it, but
Well, he hasn't gotten anything since, but
And he won't.
that's it.
Tom Lipton kind of collects
Yeah, but
hammers. It's almost a fetish with him.
I know. Yeah.
yeah, you
All right.
just-
All right, we're gonna have to step
Tom's
over
got a
the
lot
ice
of
there
All right.
and dig it.
Dig it.
That's what I hate to do.
Digging section.
One dig and it's yours.
Palmer,
Is this a
Palmer,
single foot? It's got to be
Palmer.
what? You want to bring the camera?
I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, bring the cameras.
My travel mate is blocking the way.
Oh, I got some in the car. You can dig his. You can dig his.
Can't find a piece of scrap.
Brought his own strap.
Will that work over here? Or?
Yeah, I think so.
That's big ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a, you know,
Don't wanna
A-bomb
run that one
size,
on your
and even now we got the Brian size type
Yeah.
stuff now. He's
This
getting,
will tip the whole bench. I had to put a seat lamp over there so the whole bench goes. All right, we're gonna ding
You're gonna
the
baptize the hammer.
baptize the hammer. I hate to do it because it just looks beautiful, but here's a center punch. Hope I don't hit my thumb.
There you go.
there you go, that's meant for work
Oh,
now.
I hate to do that.
But
Thank you, gentlemen.
you're more than welcome. Thank you.
And the other, Robert was the other one?
Yeah, Robert.
Robert, thank you, Robert. So that's really great.
He's a great partner in doing those projects also.
Now you're not going to be afraid to use it.
Yeah.
Okay, very good, guys. That's a great rehearsal. When we do this for real now.
I gave away a lot of door prizes. If you did win one, I appreciate it if you would have contact these companies here and thank them. And there's links and there's the names of people that donated them. So thank you for doing that, if you will. And if you buy from any of these companies, be sure and mention that Groucho sent you. A project that I've been working on for some time, and it's still going to take me a while to finish, is I'm making a 2x48-inch abrasive belt machine, and it revolves around a motor, so you have to come up with your own motor. And the design is, somewhat similar to the Kalamazoo that you can see over there. And it revolves around these cast wheels. I don't know if I've shown that yet or not, but it'll probably be about a 5-part video when it's done. And I already have a working model here, but you know, it needs some refinement and finishing off. So watch for that video, or series of videos. I realize I have a sickness now because I was at Arnfest a couple of weeks ago and I bought this set of South Bend collets. These are 3Cs along with the adapter and a nice drawbar, even in a stand here. And you know, I didn't get it cheap, and the reason I bought it, I think there's some collets here that I do not have, certain sizes, but anyway, I now have one for each South Bend lathe. And then in the mail, by priority, came from Eugene Jensen. He's out in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and he knows I favor these Starrett digital micrometers, so there's one in a 2-inch. It does need a little adjusting. I'll do that. I showed how to do that in a video, by the way. And you know what I feel? Every one of these that I've ever handled, as you turn this, you can feel a little clicking in the gears. You know, there are gears in here, and I showed that to you. But anyway, I thank you, Eugene. So now I have these, a couple of them in a 1-inch and one in a 2-inch. Out in the garage now, and just a little bit of an update on this. I've already put out 2 videos regarding getting this thing running. This is the Clausing mill, given to me by Chuck Kvasnicka from Detroit. Thanks again, Chuck. And it's been cleaned up, and it's running. You saw that in a recent video. But to update you, my neighbor Richard, now he's the gunsmith that handed out those neat little hammers with a magnifying glass. He gave me this 100-foot cord, which will reach even past my 220 outlet, and it's a heavy-duty contractor's grade 12-3, no voltage drop, please. Another update, and I'll show this in more detail in a later video, but from one Mr. Doug Hall out in Ohio, he sent me 9 tool holders that will fit the closing. This is the number 30 milling machine taper, so they're just a nice variety of these tool holders, including a Morse taper one. So I'll show those in a little more detail. Some of them are brand new, so I really do thank you, Doug. You know, that's a wonderful gift. And I've had many gifts now to help me get this thing running, so I sure appreciate all this help. I have been so busy, and I've been making videos, or they're already in the can, but there's more coming out yet, and that is regarding DC motors and getting these machines, including bandsaws, slowed down. Well, Palmer Moynihan, when he was here, traded me some things, and I'm sure I got the better deal, but here is a motor ready to put on that Walker Turner drill press, along with a tachometer, a switch, and that's a Delta motor, and a variable frequency drive. So you'll see that in a little while. When I get that mounted, I'm going to have to take that DC motor off. So a lot of things happening here in the shop. Thank you, Palmer. Well, when I was at Arnfest, you know, I tell you, I buy things I don't need. So here was this Meade belt sander. It's a 1x42, and I just bought these from, got these from KBC here just yesterday. Those are the 1x42 inch belts. And I didn't pay 40, I paid 30. The motor smokes, but the man said that motor is pretty old, it smokes. And he isn't kidding. So, and it's missing the table, but I had one of these at the high school, so I think I'm going to restore that and just have a little fun with it, and there'll be a series of videos, maybe 1 or 2 videos on that. I have a nice Fordham flexible shaft grinder. Why in the world would I buy this piece of junk here? It's just the motor with the cord, but it does run, and it was only 50 cents, so you know, I couldn't resist it, but there it is, a Fordham. And also under my bench here, and I will get to this, but there's a whole series of videos coming out on the Delta bandsaw and how to slow it down, and some of those videos were a failure. They're experiments, but this is also from Palmer Moynihan, and he's outfitted this. This was my VFD, so he did get it installed on this motor, which he gave me, part of that trading deal, and that has one of those pulleys on there that takes the flat grooved belt. They're like what they use on automobiles, so I really would like to get into those. He said they don't slip, so between that, slowing it down properly, that's a 3-phase motor, I think I'm going to have a lot of luck with that Delta bandsaw, converting it into a metal cutting saw, so watch for those videos. Be sure and follow me on Instagram. That's mrpete222, and I showed this on Instagram yesterday. Here's the lovely field of red at an auction, and yes, I did go to another auction, but I tell you, I didn't get anything cheap, and here's the results, and that's $398 worth of stuff that I absolutely do not need, but I'm like a man or a woman at a shoe store, you know, I just can't help it. So I think I'll make a separate video on what's in these different trays here. And yes, I had to buy the Kennedy box in order to contain these tools. It's empty. You know, they couldn't get the front door open on this at the auction, and I'm disappointed now, but I do like the riser. That's really why I bought it was the riser, but this is only a 3-drawer toolbox, not the, well, what is the other one? 1, 2, you know, 5 or 6 or 7 drawer, I think. So it's only a 3. I've never actually seen one of these, but it is a genuine Kennedy. I guess it was cheaper than the one with more drawers. So anyway, it is what it is. And back here you can see more stuff that I don't need, but I am totally enamored by the red boxes, and I know I'm not the only one. So watch for a video, and I'll rummage through this. It'll be a short video because $398 does not buy you much at a Starrett auction. The man had passed away, but there was a dealer there, and he bought the lion's share. And yeah, there must have been 100 boxes, red boxes. So a lot of it brand new. Some is used or lightly used. Here I am at Arnfest. I met up with a lot of neat people, including the famous Heath Rucker. We take our annual picture together. He's a great guy and has a great channel. Be sure and watch it. I know you do already. Here I am with Dennis Noland of Niagara Tools, Seco Tools. Great guy, and he was at my meet and greet, and we had a good time together. He came down in the shop. We talked quite a bit. He was really worn out. He spent the whole week at his display in Chicago at the Machine Tool Show, and that's the tag that he has around his neck, so you know that can really wear you out if you're on that hard floor for a long time. But let's take a look at some video that I shot some time ago and opening the or unboxing what Dennis sent me, and some of it was door prizes and some was for my personal use. So thank you again for that, Dennis. It was great to meet you. Dennis Noland, who is the Senior Research and Development Engineer with Niagara Cutter / Seco Tools, sent me this wonderful package here the other day. Now by the time you see this, I will already have had my meet and greet, and Dennis might even come to that. He said he was going to be in Chicago. I hope he does. Hope he did, I should say. But in this box, and it's quite heavy, and it's heavy because it's solid carbide. Everything in here is solid carbide. It's not high-speed steel. And he gave me two boxes. One is the door prizes, and one was for my personal use here in Tubalcain's workshop. So let's take a look what we got inside these boxes. And I gave away at my meet and greet about a dozen boxes here of Niagara Cutter. Now these are like sampler boxes, and there are the different cutters that are in the boxes. Now these are all the same, and if we open these up, you know, these are just such beautiful cutters to even look at, and boy, that carbide is so heavy. So that's a 3/8. Well, I guess they're all 3/8, but various types of tooth design that they use at Niagara. But aren't those wonderful? Thank you, Dennis. And here's my personal package from Dennis, and there's quite a few cutters in here as well, just all different styles. I have to study some of this, but there's several packages of these baggies, and I think they're all the same. Not positive until I study them a little bit. Take a look at some of this stuff. Again, solid carbide, that's 1/2 inch. Isn't that beautiful? Even the shanks are beautiful. I like that color. And, wow, that's a big one. What else we got here? That looks aggressive, doesn't it? 6 flutes. Beautiful. And so on. I can't open them all. That's a long one. Long reach for that deep work. Thank you, Niagara Cutters. Thank you, Dennis. You'll see these many more times in my videos as I use them. I think I've shown this picture before, but here's Randy Richards from Randy Richard in the shop, and boy, he stayed with me 2 nights, and he's just a wonderful man. We had a grand time, and he has that great infectious laugh. At my meet and greet, we gave away a bunch of Vaughan hammers made in the USA, along with some pry bars that they sent. But as you recall, some time ago when I visited the plant, they presented me with this neat hammer. But at the meet and greet, my buddy from Bushnell, Illinois, Craig Heath, came up, and he had another package for me from Vaughan, and this was by David Powell, who also was responsible for sending the door prizes, but this is also great. So now I got 2 engraved hickory handled hammers that are too nice to use. This is a 24 ouncer, And that's a 16-ouncer. Aren't they pretty? And thank you, Craig and David Powell and Vaughn and Bushnell Tools. Many times I've talked about my big drill bit teaching aid for Peterson products. Remember that? I've talked about that quite a bit. And there I am in my prime. And here's another picture of it. Also in my prime. No belly yet at all. So there's the teaching aid as I used it in school. And a man in Mason City, Iowa by the name of Kevin Losey, and he is a teacher, he contacted me and he said, hey, I've got one of those in my shop. Do you want it? And then I found out he's still teaching and uses it. I says, I would like it, but go ahead and keep it because you can use it. And there it is. And you know, somebody even put a little tag on there. It's made of plaster. It's about 6 or 7 inches in diameter. You can see all kinds of chips out of it. So this is one that I made, probably 40 years ago. But so apparently there's still some of these around, and I just found that interesting. So thanks, Kevin, for sending those pictures. Thank you, Brian Jolly, for sending me this Aloris item, and I venture a guess that you have never seen one of these, and matter of fact, this is the first time I've seen one in the flesh, and I do understand that they are now discontinued, but looking at it from this side, it holds 2 tool bits at the same time. Very nicely made. It must have been one of the more expensive items, and that's a dovetail here also. So you got 2 dovetails. 1, 2. Okay, and in my most recent Aloris catalog, which is from November '92, remember Ralmike? Well, they've been out of business for a long time, but here it is. It's called the Aloris Micro Adjust Slide number 25, and there's a typical use for it. So thank you, Brian, for that. Not sure it'll ever be put to use, but it's a neat item. It's the A size that would fit the Atlas and the South Bend. Alright, now we're looking through a fisheye lens from a GoPro camera. So this is test footage here, and this was given to me by Chuck of Detroit. So let's walk around the shop and see how much bigger the shop seems. Matter of fact, it's absolutely cavernous through this lens, is it not? Wish the shop was this big. Here's my main work area. My latest project. Normally a drill press sets right here. And I'll move this drill press back to this space here where that abrasive machine was. And yes, how did I get this down into the basement? You're right. Well, I'm concluding this video, and thank you for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you watch the whole thing so I can get a feeling whether people are truly watching. And I'm presenting the right kind of information. But one Mr. Henry Ostman recently sent me this interesting statement, so pause your video and take the time to read this if you would. And this is Mr. Pete saying so long for now, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.